And my name's Richard. This is the meetup for the dating meetups and for the nonpartisan Red Pill Men's Group. We're going to be talking about Ladies' Game. And what I'm going to do is we're doing a book study of Rollo Tomasi's book, The Rational Male. And then so I'm going to read this section on Ladies' Game. And then we're going to open it up for discussion. And I want to invite everybody to join in the discussion because we'd like to have some comments. Yeah, I see. Juan, you did a few. So what can we do about this? That's okay. So the main thing is, number one, you're coming to this class, you're getting red pilled, you're learning about how women are. It's interesting. I'm angry. I'm very angry about it. And that's possibly because as I realized, I was sexually abused by my aunts. I was sexually abused, and then sexually used as a young man by older women. I was sexually harassed, people wanting to make me post nude. And this stuff goes on. I mean, a man can't say no. I just ruminating on, a man's right to say no is not respected. If I want to say no, I don't want to participate in a bachelorette party or strip club or go to a burlesque show or see belly dance, immediately there's an inquisition. And then come the accusations. And then sometimes women would say, if you don't want to go up there and be auctioned off so we can make money off your ass, then the insults come, the ridicule, the shaming types of behavior. And all these behaviors are very manipulative behaviors designed to cow men into compliance. And that whole idea, if you want to hook up, I'm not the one you're going to do it with. All these kind of cower men get men to comply with the feminine prerogative, which is, in some ways, to put us all into mindsets of sexual scarcity so that we're so desperate, we have to accept the woman we can afford. And that woman may not be attractive. She may be older. A lot of older women are going for younger men. That's the reality. And when we talk about sharing men, the strippers and male prostitutes are at the top of that list of women sharing men. And so I'm lucky, I'm good looking, I can get women to be with me, but some guys have a lot of trouble with that. And it's because women want only certain guys, the top 20%. So the best way what you can do is get red pilled and date non-exclusively and, be, wary and try not to be as angry as I am. Better to be manipulative than angry. And let's go here. Okay. And then yes, and then, so how do we do that if we just met them for the first time? It's all due to feminism in the Western world. I studied feminism, and I don't think it's due to feminism necessarily. I think it's due to women's nature. And I think they've been behaving this way for a long time. There's social changes that have gone on. And what I think it's more political. We have changed. We men have been forced to change. No one gives up their privilege. This is what African Americans say. White people would not give up their privilege unless they're forced to do so. Now, that doesn't include all white people. Of course, there's progressive white people who are fighting against racism and bigotry. But the point is that in general, you have to force people through political action to give up their privilege. Women are highly privileged, highly demanding right now. So they can do whatever they want with a man sexually. They don't all want to do it, but they can do whatever they want. They can, and everything is a manipulation. So you just have to recognize that that's their nature. Their nature is to be manipulative and deceptive. And so I don't know if I answered that question, but there's a lot we can do. And I think learning and is the first step to trying
I
to
mean,
deal
good
with it.
golly, it's just like some SpongeBob porn, you know?
What do you mean by that, John?
Well, you know, you need you go you
Oh, John, we lost John. Okay. So go ahead, Clint.
Yeah, well, to answer the question, what can we do about it? I think, uh, and someone just mentioned a comment about social media. I think you can use women's their competitiveness with each other and this whole there's a concept called not proof of life, but maybe it's proof of life, proof of being social. And if you join meetup groups, or even you have a profile on Facebook or Instagram, whenever if you can show yourself. I mean, at my current Facebook, uh, uh, not the profile, but the one behind it shows me with like 3 women. And if you need to show people that, you're a man who's out and about and you have other options and you're a high value male. And I think you can do that. But now, obviously, if you just met somebody at a bar, you don't know anybody, that's a little more difficult. That's why it's helpful if you go to that bar, but you find a meetup group that's going to it and you join that, or you find a Facebook group that's going to that bar. And you in this day of mobile phones, you let people know who you are, and you're showing pictures of you in different parties with different women hanging all over you or whatever. And um, but and you have to balance that some with showing pictures of you doing athletic things, out hiking or whatever, biking. And um, you want to make it so that, I don't know that you necessarily want to show any pictures of you with former girlfriends or something, but you want to make it appear that you're both out and about, a man of the world, but you have other sides, and you have interests and hobbies and exercise, and you're manly, and um, create that you're available for the right woman, and let them fight over you. So,
Right. Yeah, I think that's important, especially for your dating app profile, that it be a good profile. Now, I'm not sure that showing pictures with other women on the dating app, but there maybe in your social media
right.
things, then you can do that. And I also think that one thing, like for instance, I went to this little public concert, and this young woman, I turned around, she was looking at me, she smiled at me, and then all of a sudden, the woman I'm with, I could feel her grab my arm, you know, so walking with me fast. So it's that type of thing too, if you're on a date with a woman and women are looking at you, you might not notice it, but they'll notice it. Maybe the waitress will flirt with you, something like that. It really helps if you're good looking. That really helps for sure. Um, I don't know how to do it otherwise. And even good looking, I still can't get the woman I want. Still can't get a beautiful woman, even though I'm decent, good looking, still can't find an attractive woman because the money situation. So, Chad, you wanna speak up? You want to talk about the horror that is OnlyFans? And I really recommend don't pay women for that. There's plenty of free porn if you need porn. I mean, I understand the need for it, but don't pay women if you can avoid paying women for sex. Avoid it. If you like, I've told people before, if you have to, or if you want to, go someplace where it's inexpensive, Tijuana, Thailand, something like that. Um, someplace you don't have to spend a lot of money to get to. If you have to do that, I'd recommend I don't care what the woman looks like. Um, the woman is in need and she wants you. She's going to try and convince you. Like I was with this heavy woman, and she paid. She took me. I went and saw Cheap Trick in Palm Springs. She paid for the tickets. She paid for the gas. She drove. She paid for the hotel room. But she was highly sensitive because she was fat, and I made my joke and she got upset. And you can't really talk to a person who every time thinks, yeah, and really, I'm not really feeling that great, I wouldn't be proud to have that woman on my own. I want a woman I feel good about, if I'm going to commit to that woman. So she might be picking up on a lot of things, that are nonverbal and stuff like that. But you have to recognize, hey, you're fat. You're not attractive. You're not beautiful. Okay. And let's just deal with it, you know? Having to tell a woman she's beautiful, just sort of, and encourages her to think that. And we have these ideology telling you're beautiful at any size, all women, but talk about men. Men are not beautiful at any size. Men are not handsome with any appearance. No, only women are beautiful at any size. Well, maybe they're beautiful on the inside. A lot of women who are beautiful on the outside, really ugly on the inside. But so, and these OnlyFans girls are, we got to stop paying women for this. I don't know. For me, I feel like I was taken advantage of, and therefore I don't feel women should be paid. If I was a kid or teenage boy, I was taken advantage of. Why should I pay a woman? Why should I pay a woman? If that's what they, because they want sex too, and they're not doing anything. I'm doing all the work. I'm the guy who's making the magic happen. But anyway, I'm getting off on my thing here. But yeah, prostitutes, strippers, OnlyFans, don't spend your money on that. Spend it on yourself. Buy something, buy some new clothes, to make yourself look better. Get in a weight loss program so you can lose some weight. Do things that are going to make you more attractive rather than spending your money on that, giving that money to women. Because I think part of the problem here is not just that women are making the same amount of money as men, and there's this ever shrinking pool of men who are financially make more than women, because that's what they want, a man who has or makes more than them. So there's going to be a shrinking pool of that, but also women have made tons of money off of men. So it's not just that they're earning more, they're making more. I mean, they've already rung a man up by the time they get to us at 59. They got a house, they got a car, they got all this stuff. And part of it is because they got it from their ex. We don't have that advantage. Let's see, what else have we got here? Social media is the cause. You want to elaborate on that, Johnson, Lynn? Because I think a lot of people are saying social media is a cause of this, because women are getting so much attention that they've become deluded. And yeah, John, go ahead, Johnson.
Yeah. Because I think this whole OnlyFans, trend is basically caused by social media, mostly IG. And then, I don't know how it started, to be honest with you, but it's pretty out of control right now. So yeah. So I don't know the history of it, of OnlyFans, but I know it's only recent, probably in the past 5 or 10 years that it took off. But it's really out of control. And now it's like, as an older man, I feel like all the younger women just want to get paid,
Yeah. Money's at the top of their list. Match is full of gold diggers. And even just asking for commitment up front, that's a form of gold digging, because you're really asking the guy to essentially devote all his resources and his commitment and attention to you in exchange for access to sex. And it's also prostitution. So it's in other words, you're asking him to give you everything that he can give you. And I was explaining to a woman that women are the gatekeepers of sex. Men are the gatekeepers for relationships. It's going to be really hard for a woman to get, one of us, to just commit to them right away or commit to them at all. My feeling is, I can't get the woman I want, an attractive woman that I want, I won't commit to any of them. you know, and a lot of women say if they can't get the guy they want, they won't even have sex. They won't even have a relationship. But, you know, they're probably going and having sex with male prostitutes at strip clubs and strippers. You know, they're getting their needs met somewhere. Don't believe a word they say. But maybe some of them aren't having sex. And I know they tell me they're not having sex. And so they end up with me, right? Because I'm good looking, and why not, you know? And then they think, oh, he had sex with me, he must like me, he's going to be committed to me, and I'm telling, look, no. I just, you know, I know what women do. They want to have sex with good looking guys, so that's what they want to do. It's not, you know, I'm going to take advantage. I'm going to situate myself so that I can get my needs met. Let's put it that way. But I don't know how some of you guys are doing it without paying an arm and a leg for it.
And just as a follow up, I guess to Clint's point earlier about social media, putting yourself out there, you got to be really careful now, because there's a lot of scammers online, Facebook, IG, Instagram, Tinder, especially. There's a lot of scammers out to scam us. You know,
I'd say
especially
that any prostitute is a scammer, to be honest.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And they're scammers for women too, because they're so caught up in getting that top 20% of guys that they end up desperate with nobody, because they're just not attracted to the guys who would commit to them. And that's the problem that women are facing, that they want the guys who all the other women want, but the guys who would love them, the guys who would commit to them, the guys who would be loyal to them, the guys who would be good to them, they don't want, because they don't meet the financial requirements, they don't meet the attractiveness requirements that women have. So they're going after these guys like me, who I'm looking for somebody who I'm attracted to, but you know, I'm also willing to service plenty of women who come my way. So yeah, so I think social media has sort of exacerbated it, and the scammers are not just you get a lot of them phone calls. I get phone calls from scammers, you know, not text messages, you know, saying, oh, or is this who and so? Oh, I'm sorry, did I disturb you? And then I get a picture of a beautiful woman, and then really it's a guy on the other line. It's not even a woman on the other line. But yeah, it's the women who are the scammers a lot of times. And so yeah, and I do think that it is a scam. You know, everything is just try and get you to pay. And there's a lot of and they don't even know that they're doing it. I had a woman just last week telling me about, like I said, how I should pre-qualify myself to her. She didn't realize that she was really manipulating me into something that was not in my best interest at all. It was only in her interest that I stopped seeing other women, because she was not at all committed to not seeing other men, or committed to me. And she said so. She's not ready for commitment. She's enjoying her freedom. But I should prove to women that I'm a one-woman man before they commit to me. You know, and there's absolutely nothing to talk about with a woman unless she's ready to make a commitment, unless she asks for a commitment. As a man, you should never be the one to ask for a commitment from a woman, because you want to maintain your, you know, you're the prize. You're the prince that she's after. Why would you start making her the prize and trying to get her to commit? She's got to come to you and demand that you commit. And they'll do that right off the bat. But be careful, they're not committed to you at that point. You know, it has to be the right time. You know, if they just want you to commit in order to have sex, they're not committed to you at all. They're just giving you a try, and they don't want you to have anybody else while they try to determine whether they like you or not. So, and Chad, you said something about what university? I'm wondering. Oh, studies that 60% of couples meet at work. Work is quickly becoming a no-sex zone. It's very difficult and dangerous to meet a woman at work. If something happens, your employer is going to be involved. Less and less people are meeting at work. It's becoming more and more no sex zone. If there's a threat of sexual harassment charges, that and it's just not a good idea to get women at work or to get women through work. And I think you'll see that statistic is probably going to drop. I don't know where that statistic comes from, because I don't think people are meeting at work anymore. Most of us are meeting online. Yeah, and I guess your dog. Okay. Transgendered women real women? I would say this, that a transgendered woman has a lot of the same mental programming that women have. In other words, they're prostitutes, just like it. They think they want money. Yeah, they're there too. That's part of the gay community too, probably, but more so with transsexuals. Are they, but there may be some differences in perspective that comes from having been male or knowing what it is to be male, that like, for instance, they may not be as commitment may not be as something they're going to force on you right away, because they understand what men are doing, and if they're not ready to commit to you, why would they force it on you? But I think there's a lot of similar dynamics, and whether they're real women, I don't know. They're not born as women, let's put it that way. Go ahead, Clint. No, there you go.
Okay, yeah, my understanding, I mean, they were born male. We see this now in some of the troubles at the Olympics right now, but they still have XY chromosomes, which are male as opposed to XX. And
Mhm.
from what I know, from what I've heard anyway, when a male is formed, the two in a woman, the two halves of the brain are, I believe, are interconnected by what's called the corpus callosum, and that allows the left and right hemisphere to interact, and that's why women often have a lot of intuition and so forth. And that bridge is dissolved with, I think, so it doesn't exist in men. So I do believe that even if you add estrogen, they develop breasts, even if they have a complete sex change operation down below, I don't think it changes their brain. I don't think they become overly especially emotional like born females do. So you're dealing with kind of a different creation, a different state. It's not exact. I don't think it's the same as a woman who's born a female. So that may affect your interaction with they, them, her, she, her, whatever the right pronoun is.
Yeah. Well, I often say variety is the spice of life. And if you like that type of thing, it may be a good substitute for how women are nowadays. I mean, I'm looking for a better woman,
Right.
and there may not be one out there, and so I don't know if you're okay with that. If you're not okay with it, then that's
Yeah. I mean, I'm not okay with it, but I do remember my dad telling me that he married my mother because she thought like a man. She was attractive, but in other words, she was a logical thinker.
Mhm.
If you're having trouble with women that are just too emotional, which most seem to be,
Mhm.
that might be a difference. I mean, it's not. I'm not trying to. I don't want to walk on the wild side, but
Right.
who knows? It might be something that would work.
Yeah. Well, it seems to be that poverty is the thing that really sort of makes it so that women are better,
Mhm.
But if they're beautiful, that's the problem. When they get beautiful, they're no longer poor. They can make money off their beauty. Transsexuals, maybe not so much. They could be attractive. And there's some that are very beautiful and they make a lot of money off their sex. but there may be some that are attractive enough who, it's like dating a fat girl, right? Like dating a fat girl. Yeah, sure. She's going to be the same way as every other woman, but she's not going to make it be as demanding as other women. Go ahead, John. Unmute and give us what you want to say.
Yeah, so I was just thinking, if it's the body of a female with transgenders woman's, if it's the body of a female but the mind of a male, wouldn't that make them the ultimate being? Because we're here talking about how men have the superior intellect and thinking of the way we push through, and how we're more, I wouldn't say monogamous, but we're less, I'm like I don't mean to slut shame, but we're less slutty, I guess. So wouldn't that mean that if transgender women have the mind of a male and the body of a female, wouldn't that make them like the ultimate being?
Well, if they have that, because I think what I'm kind of saying is they kind of have the mind of a female, and that's why they're transgender. That's why they feel that they were born in the wrong body, because they feel they have those, and they have some of the same mindsets, the same way as thinking, the same sort of innate sort of psychological behaviors and constructs. So, but also their bodies are not, they have to have surgery to look like a female. You've got to sometimes have surgery on their face. They have to have, of course, breasts. They have to have surgery on their hips to actually make them look like a woman in a woman's body. So sometimes if you run into a trans, they really don't have a woman's body, but they have many of the women's mannerisms. So I don't know if that makes them the ultimate in sexual partners, but I guess it depends on your preferences or as women. But I think people can sometimes be better women. They can be better women sometimes if they have a better understanding of what men go through